Alright, this is a Boy and His Blob for the NES. Figured I'd show this one off as maybe it's a little lesser known. Maybe some of you haven't seen it. So let's check this one out, shall we? Here we can see the title screen. It's a very simple game. There's not really a whole lot of, variety to show off, so it'll probably be a short review. But it is a pretty fun sort of puzzle platforming game. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, I'm scrolling through different jelly beans that I have. I'm playing as the boy, and I have a blob, my little friend Blob, from Blobonia, who follows me around, and I can feed him these different jelly beans, and he'll turn into different, items, or, he'll get an ability that I need. So here we can see, giving him a punch jelly bean turns him into a hole, and I can drop down into the floor. The B button whistles. You can whistle to either, have your blob follow you, or, return to his blob form if he's, staying in a ladder, for example. The licorice jelly bean turns him into a ladder, and I can climb up here and get the treasure. Now, I've never beaten this game, so I'm not really 100% sure what the, end goal is. As far as I can tell, you're gaining treasures for the first part of the game, so you can get enough money to buy vitamins, which I guess you'll need in the later part of the game, or buy more jelly beans or something. Like I said, I'm not too sure, because I've never actually beaten this game. This game came out in 1989, released for the NES. This game's developed by Imagineering, which is kind of a neat name. It sounds like the kind of company that would make, well, games like this. There's a lot of puzzles and thinking in this game, so not your average NES game by any means. It was published by Absolute Entertainment in North America and Jellico in Japan. And, this game was designed by David Crane. And David Crane's the same guy that did Pitfall. Sort of reminiscent of Pitfall, your main character, and the way he runs. Once again, using a blowtorch to get through the spider web, which is one of the many things you can turn your blob into. And another one is an umbrella, which you need here. I have to go really slow here because the umbrella protects you from these things hitting you on the head, but if you run too fast, they'll hit the front of your body and you'll still die, so you gotta go slow here, even once you figure it out. My buddy had this game back in the day, actually, my next door neighbor, and he had a lot of different NES games. Growing up, you and all your friends, you kind of had all the popular or common NES games, and he would always get these ones that were a little, well, lesser known, or maybe not the popular games, but he always had some good games in there. Journey to Silius is one of them he had that was really cool, that I've never seen anybody else have. And Time Lord, I mentioned that in the Pickups video, was a cool game. And this was another one. Never seen anybody else who had this game. And, him and his brother seemed to really like this game. His brother was a little older than us, so I can kind of see how he was getting into more of the sort of thinking games. And he was more into PC games at the time. Whereas we were younger, so, we wanted our Ninja Turtles beat 'em up button masher, where there wasn't much thinking in it. This game was released to the Wii Virtual Console in 2009. Kinda disappointing because I wanted to show this game as, hey, look at this surprising game you've probably never seen before. But then when I found out it was on the Wii Virtual Console, it's like, oh, you've probably all seen it by now. Although, it may not be the exact same on the Wii Virtual Console. I'm not sure if they redid the graphics or if it's just an emulated version of this. Once again, we'll use the licorice jelly bean to get up here. This is one of those games where there's definitely multiple ways you could do something or get to where you want to go. So it's kind of neat because, the way I do it and the way you do it might be different. There's some items you can use in the same spot to sort of do the same thing. or jelly bean. For example, here I use the cola, which turns you into a bubble, and you can use that to go underwater. So normally you'd be dead as soon as you hit the water. And now you can go around and explore under the water, and you'll find some treasures down here. You've got 5 men, basically 5 tries, to get through the entire game from beginning to end. There's no save feature, there's no password feature. Here's another cool thing I figured out. You can use this root beer thing, turns them into a rocket, and if you use it up here on the upper world, or on the streets I should say, it takes you to another planet. It takes you to Blobonia. This is where your blob's from. Now, I'm assuming you're supposed to come here later on in the game, when you have some certain items or abilities that I don't have yet. But I've managed to explore it, and, well, I can get to about here. And these things, I mean, one touch and you're dead. And the reason it's so hard is because of the way your guy runs. Your guy does not stop on the spot. He slides around like crazy, so I mean, I just died here over and over, but like I said, I don't think you're supposed to be here yet. But definitely a cool game. Definitely check it out.